Hey, Peace and Harmony here with you here today. Your buddy Peace and Harmony, picking up where we left off, how to get rid of the psychopath and narcissist in your life, and looking at more of some of the issues that are within you that could have led to this, you know, how this could have occurred. How did this happen? Why did this happen to you? Why was this brought about? Why did you have to go through this in your life? Does this happen to everybody? You know, why me? I mean, these are all the kind of questions that tend to go through you and, you know, in your mind. And, you know, once you start to say, you know, I've got to change something. I cannot live like this anymore. I deserve better. You know, what is wrong with me? Nothing is wrong with you. What I want to look at in this video is understanding some of the dynamics that have occurred, that have maybe created this situation. Because the situation was created, it did happen, it did occur, and we want to know why. Why did it happen? How can I get through this? How can I get back onto life again? So that's what I'm going to look at in the rest of this video. And I apologize that the first part got cut off. If you haven't seen the first one, please go back and check that out. But I'll just do a quick recap. The narcissist tends to attract people who are codependent. And I know that these are psychological terms and not your everyday terminology. If you haven't studied psychology like I have, if you have not worked in those social services or things like that, these might be new terms to you. But chances are, you know, how you two really started to mesh and merge and really get along so famously together and, you know, really have it, you know, have some experiences together for even some length of time is because you have a nurturing side within you, and an empathic side, a giving side, a listening side. These are all personality traits that you possess, and you know, you have a big heart. I'm just trying to list some of the qualities, you know, the endearing qualities that are sought after by a narcissist or a psychopath. And you know, these qualities, which we're going to term codependent. Codependent basically meaning that you really take a great deal of pleasure and pride and you know, have a very strong giving quality to you where you almost depend on being able to take care of somebody. You know, maybe it's like the caregiver role. It's the caregiver in you, you know, who wants to take care of, you know, a boy who fell off of his bike. You want to take care of you want to take care of the bad boy who maybe didn't have everything he needed growing up, or, you know, who grew up too soon. You know, if you look and really examine your relationship dynamic, chances are your first introduction into them was in this very vein, in this very light. I know with my situation that occurred, and it's very often very common, especially in psychopaths, that they lure their victims with a sob story. You know, can you help me? I think is kind of like their you know, how they operate, or how they originally get you in is, you know, and you see, you know, there's this suffering. You see that, you know, things are going on with them, and you basically, as a good human being, want to help them. And this term is considered codependent if it becomes into an excessive amount, where you find yourself in these situations where you're constantly having to take care of people. I mean, and I don't want to say this, almost like giving to a fault. It's almost to the point where you over obligate yourself. And if you are this type of person to begin with, you know, and you have attracted a narcissist into your life, or a psychopath, I mean, they are on a feeding frenzy. They're just like, hallelujah, you know, this is my perfect mate, this is my perfect match, you know, this person can do X, Y, and Z for me. You know, they love to listen. I don't have to listen to them. You know, you know, they're falling for my stories. They're there to give it up to me sexually. They're there to cook for me. They'll let me get away with, kind of creating an inferior dynamic within our relationship where I can overpower them, over sexualize them, or they have this, there's this dynamic that's created. And within yourself, so if you look at, and it took me, as I mentioned in my first video, it's taken me about 5 years to really understand, how this was created, or what was my role in this part of my life. And I think that's very important to understand, and I think it's very important to the healing process, and I think it's vital to the healing process to realize like how this all came about, how this all started, why this all happened. Because if you're like me, I need to know, it's just like, why did this happen to me? I'm a good person. Why do I continue to be taken advantage of? Like, this is getting disgusting, And the thing is, I'm a good person, and I don't want to say like I can be walked over, but, I feel like, I'm coming from a good place and I should not be taken advantage of, and I want to put an end to it. So that is what has prompted me into this study and, setting up this channel here for you all. Is that within my studies, I have learned that, there's certain things that we have to learn about ourselves, and this is one of them. So I want this one session to be more about you and looking at you, and then not only, the causative factors, but what are some things that you can now do to move beyond it. The causative factors being, a codependency, needing to take care of others, or coming from a position where you want to nurture and take care of others, or where you take, you're very comfortable helping other people. It's just a comfort zone for you to be able to do this. So now, if we've identified that, how can we now work to get beyond this, knowing this to be the case? Well, now you have to look at the flip side and say, well, how can I begin to receive? How can I stop having to struggle and give so much and be exploited? How can I stop myself? How can I stop being exploited? How can I stop being in a position where I'm constantly taking care of this other person and my needs aren't being acknowledged? My needs aren't being met. Why am I allowing this to happen? So it's learning to draw these boundaries. And not only these boundaries, but now learning to discover who you really are and what makes you happy, and how can you begin to receive and get on a journey where you're doing what you want in life, and your whole life is not just in taking care of others, you're taken care of in the process, and not taken care of by someone who is taking advantage of you. So I think a lot of that has to come from learning to get to know yourself, Plato, know thyself. I think that's a huge, important factor in your total recovery and healing. And so I do recommend on another video here, the recovery journal. And it's getting to know really some things about what you really enjoy and giving yourself permission to go and do these things. It's about getting to know who you really want to be and being these things. It's getting to know what really makes you happy and giving yourself permission to partake in these. And eliminating the limiting beliefs, eliminate the limiting behaviors that have stopped you from pursuing these. Because very often it's those limiting thoughts or limiting beliefs about ourselves that have kept us stuck or have kept us in this abusive sort of relationship. Limiting when I say self-limiting, when I say self-limiting, I'm meaning basically, like I can't leave this guy because I'll never meet anybody better. These are thoughts that we have. These are beliefs. I can't move out of here because this is my only job, or this is where my family is, so I can't leave my family. These are limiting beliefs. I can't leave this guy because if I do, he'll come and abuse me. I can't leave this guy because I still have loose ends left to take care of with him. I can't leave this guy because he was here for me at one point. I can't leave this narcissistic abuser because I owe them money. I can't leave this narcissist because I have a child with them. These are all illusions. These are all limiting beliefs. I cannot leave this psychopath because I'm so fragile right now. I can't get on my feet, and I need him to help me get back on my feet. He's my guy. These are the self-limiting beliefs that we tell ourselves that keep us stuck, that keep us in limited situations with them, and we're not, in turn, developing and growing ourselves as a person, and we're not pursuing the very things, the very joys of life. We're not comfortable doing that yet. It's because we have a situation, a codependent need where we don't feel very comfortable, taking care of ourselves or going out and making ourselves happy. We've limited ourselves. Well, this can change. It's never too late to become the person that you want to be. You've heard of the 75-year-old going back to college. Well, I mean, go for it. There's no age limit on college. I mean, come on. Let's go here. The limiting beliefs, I can't move. Of course you can move. You can get it together. It might not happen overnight, but if you can break down the steps, you can do it and you can move. You can get away from these people. There's no cord. There's only a psychic cord, holding you to them. So I really want you to work on that recovery journal. Start making that list of, if I could have anything, anything in this world, what do I want? Do I want a house? Do I want a car? Do I want a loving relationship? Do I want a huge wardrobe? Do I want to be to travel? What are some things you want? What are some things you want to be? I want to be a writer. I want to be a poet. I want to be a chef. I want to be spiritual. I want to be happy. Your to-be goals. Your to-do goals. What are your goals personally? What are your goals financially? Start breaking some of these down for yourself and get them written for yourself in a journal, and start working towards them and becoming proactive. And look at developing yourself as a person along these lines. Begin asking yourself these questions. Work on that recovery journal. Work on it every day. Get in touch with who you are, what you truly want, who you truly want to be, and what makes you happy. Yes, you can. We're giving you permission. I give you permission. Go and do what makes you happy and become the person you want to be. Stop those limiting beliefs and set yourself free. Peace and harmony coming to you today. Please subscribe for more great videos, tools, and support. Peace out.